All right, Joel Gausten here from joelgausten.com. I'm really happy to be joined by somebody I haven't spoken to for a few years, so this is going to be great. Joining me from the beautiful state of Colorado, Mr. Jack Russell. Jack, great to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man, as always.
Excellent. So, how is life in Denver treating you?
Really well, really well. It's like a big pillow, soft and fluffy. It's just great, man. The weather's beautiful. The air's clear. I don't see this big brown cloud hovering over. It's really great. There's a lot of animal life, stuff I'm not used to. It used to be like this in LA at one time. When I was a kid, there was all kinds of stuff to go and see and do. And now pretty much the only thing to go see and do is go see what used to be, you know. There used to be trees here. Well, there used to be animals here, you know.
There used
Now
to
it's
be a sky here too, right?
yeah, there used to be a blue sky. Yeah, right.
Definitely. Well, we got a few things to talk about, man. On the top of my list is the new album you just put out with Tracii Guns, Medusa.
Right.
Fantastic record, first of all. I
Thank
think
you.
it's one of the best rock albums I've heard for a very long time. So I'm really enjoying it. And I know Frontiers put it out, and I've talked to a lot of bands on Frontiers over the years. And I know from experience, the owner of that label, Serafino,
Yeah.
is a concept guy. He sort of conceptualizes these sort of super groups and makes calls and puts everybody together. Am I correct that Medusa was a result of another one of his ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. I assume he's the one who put it together. I was never told. I was just told, "Hey, do you want to do a record with Tracii Guns and Company?" I said, "Yeah, heck yeah, man, sounds great." And it was fun, and it was a lot of fun. The record's great. My voice is really in good shape. Tracy's guitar is just Tracy's guitar, and the rest of the players are just amazing. I had a really good time doing it. It was probably the shortest month of my life. It went by real quick.
Well, what I love about the album is it sounds like a bunch of guys who got together, wrote and rehearsed material together, and then recorded together. But that was not the case at all with this record, correct?
No, not at all. No, I recorded in Denver. My vocals went down to a studio in Los Angeles. Tracy, I assume, recorded in LA, and his vocals went straight to Italy. And then somewhere between LA and Italy, it got mixed together.
So it was kind of like an instant record in some way.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. Yeah, I hit instant record. Add some water, stir it up. Yeah, no, it was great. And I swore I would never want to record like that. I used to always tell myself, "Oh, I just can't see any realism in that. It's not going to sound the same if you don't have everybody in the same room." I realized how full of crap I was when I said that because, you listen to this record, it doesn't sound any different than any other record I've made, as far as they don't sound like they're in the same room. Well, yeah, it does, and what's to make it not sound different, you know? Oh, you can tell that the drummer's not smiling at the singer right here. He wouldn't be anyway, he'd be at home.
Yeah, totally. How involved were you and Tracy in the actual songwriting for this album?
We didn't write anything as far as I know. I mean, these songs were handed to me full tilt done. And they just said, "How do you like them?" I said, "It's great. They're fine." And so it wasn't like I had to spend a lot of time, writing or really learning. The parts weren't that hard. There was a couple that were a couple notes here and there that were like a little off, not off, but just a little harder to do than other ones. It's like, that's not a scale I would do. Wow. And it took me a while. I was like, I remember spending like 20 minutes on this one little riff. I'm going, this is killing me. Why can't I sing this? Going over and over and over. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, come on, man, give me a hand here. Oh God, that was frightening.
How long did it take for you to get the vocals down for the album?
Let's see. Two. I was doing basically 1 to 2 a night. So and one night I did three. So how many songs are on the record?
Ah, now you're gonna quiz me. I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, I don't remember, man. I don't remember what I did yesterday.
Let me see. I got the album right here. There are 11 tracks on the album.
Okay, so one day I did three, some other days I did two, and some other days I did one. Whatever that equals out to. Divide it, times it, square root it, whatever, whatever you want to do. It adds up to 11.
There you go. Bring it up to 11. Rock and
Yeah,
roll.
turn it to 11.
I wanted to mention, of course, the other guys on the album. You've got Johnny
Yeah,
Martin and Shane Fitzgibbon, who, are from Tracy's camp,
sure.
and Alessandro Del Vecchio, I believe.
Yeah, the writer.
Yeah, he's the Frontiers guy who kind of does a lot with those artists.
Really talented guy. Super
Oh yeah,
nice guy. Super talented. It was really a pleasure to work with him. Really was. I'd love to do it again.
that's great. Yeah, I've heard many great things about him, and of course, his work speaks for itself. He's got pretty vast discography of collaborations at this point, so
Yeah.
very cool. Obviously, Tracy Wales on this album. I mean, he's
Yeah, he does. Of course, I've heard him play all the LA Gun stuff, and they've opened up for us, numerous times. And I've always thought they were a great band. I love Phil Lewis's voice. He's just got a really good voice. And Tracy, he's just so Jimmy Page, you know. If his hair was a little longer, I'd mistake for it. But he's a great guitarist. He's very mysterious. That's a word I would have for Tracy. Very mysterious.
mysterious in his personality or in his approach.
Personality, yeah. His personality, just all in one, all total. He's just kind of a mysterious guy. Kind of like you don't really know what he's thinking.
Right, right. I've heard that from other people as well.
Wow,
Um,
really?
oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's
I,
fun.
I love LA Guns. I love Tracy. I mean,
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. I've never had any issues with him.
yeah, I've never met him.
That I know of.
Never met him yet. I know Phil from LA Guns, but I haven't
Right.
met Tracy up. But a talented cat for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Um, I gotta tell you, man, I honestly, truly think some of your finest vocal performances are on this album. Uh,
Really.
yeah, the vocals really hit on this record. So first of all, I gotta commend you because, no names mentioned, but we both know guys who came up the same time you did, who were still in the game, who maybe don't have the same voice they had back in those days. You've maintained a pretty strong voice. I've seen some of the recent live videos, man. It's still there. Um, what's been the trick to keeping your voice as strong as it is after
Um,
now?
the only thing I can attribute that to is, God for one, um, for the gift, and the wisdom I gained from my vocal teacher, rest in peace, Ron Anderson, who taught me how to take care of my voice, all through the '80s and '90s and 2000s, and now I have a new instructor. Her name is Ona, and she's just brilliant. So, just taking care of my voice as much as possible. I quit smoking, quit drinking, quit doing everything that's bad for my voice. You know, um, it's like, yeah, I quit smoking when I found out I had COPD. Good time to quit. That was the advice.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I wish I would have done these things earlier, but I did them nonetheless, and it's paid off well. I didn't when I was on the road, I didn't really party a lot. I didn't drink. You know, I No, I was really good to myself in the scheme of things, comparatively speaking. Compared to what I was when I got home. The road was pretty good place for me.
Excellent. I wanted to obviously talk about the other band you have, Jack Russell's Great White. A little side project you do now and then. Uh,
Yeah.
and I want to talk about your lineup for a minute because Tony Montana is with you. and he's been with you for years now, and he was with Great White when the band really broke.
Yeah, he popped in '86.
Yeah, so he was there really for the big wave of the band, and still working together. It's hard sometimes to maintain relationships in the music industry.
Sure.
What makes yours with Tony work to the point that you're still together in 2024?
Well, with us, it's more about friendship than it is about power, you know. Um, Me and Tony are friends, bottom line, and there's not like he needs to take over to fill his ego, or he needs to feel like he's running things. He's perfectly cool just to throw his advice in every once in a while. And, I'll always listen to him because he's a smart guy, you know. Um, but he knows that it says Jack Russell's Great White, so he knows what that means and what that entails, you know. Um, it doesn't mean anything but a name to me, but it's and it also represents who's in charge of that name, and I'm gonna be making all the decisions that go along with it, or more or less, because my name's the one that's out there, and if I do something stupid, it directly reflects on me, So that's been my whole life. What am I talking about? If I do something stupid, it reflects on me. Of course it does. But Tony, yeah, he's a great guy, super performer. I mean, he needed to learn keyboards, he needed to learn harmonica. He plays guitar already. He played bass in Great White. You know, um, so he's just a great multi instrumentalist. He really is, and he's got his shite together. He really does. He really does.
And I know relatively recently, well, I guess it hasn't been too recent at this point, but in the last couple of years, you brought in Ken Mary, the great Ken
Yeah,
Mary, to play
yeah.
drums with you guys. Um, and he's obviously a phenomenal player with this extraordinary history already. What do you think he brings to the band that perhaps wasn't there in the past?
Super power, super timing, just uh, a flow. He's like a monster river, He's all this power, but flowing perfectly, The guy he's inhuman. I mean, really is. Yeah, I've never seen anybody play like that. I mean, I've seen a lot of great drummers, but this cat just, he's frightening, and I'm got him sitting behind me. I'm kind of afraid he's going to come washing over top of me. Yeah, he's an amazing guy, a really sweetheart too. His wife's a great kid too. They're just great people to be around. I'm so proud to have him in my band. I really am. I
Yeah,
didn't realize who he was until people go, "Hey, he's the cat that played with Alice Cooper." I go, "That guy?" I go, "Oh, cool, yeah." I know. I go, not that that's his riff, but
yeah. I mean, he could be a really heavy player too. He was just, involved with Flotsam and Jetsam,
yeah, right.
with Angel. The guy's got some crazy history. So
Yeah, he does.
that's
And
really
he doesn't take himself too seriously either. He's fun to be around. He's a funny guy, actually. He's very funny. When I first met him, I thought, oh, this guy's going to be a drip, you know. And, once we got to hang out and get to know each other, man, he's actually a really funny guy.
That's great. That's great. And I know this current incarnation of the band is recording new music, which will be your first original music since 2017 when you guys did He Saw It Coming, which I
Right.
mean, you and I have talked. I mean, I love that record. That was my favorite record of 2017 by far. Um,
Um,
and you took some crazy chances on that record. The title track sounds like it could have been a Queen song. There's some doo-wop on there. I mean, it's a great album. Stylistically, how do you think what you're working on now compares to that record?
it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, it's its own it's its own whole it's its own entity. I mean, it's I think it's a little more bluesy so far, and I think it's some parts are going to be a little heavier so far. I say this because we're about halfway finished, but who knows when we get three quarters of the way finished whether we've ditched half of the songs I'm talking about and replace them with other songs. I mean, the record's so good right now. I doubt that's going to happen, but I'm really proud of it, as I am proud of everything that I made. Not that it's all the bee's knees, but you know, um, I think it's great, and as long as I'm happy with it, I'm happy because it's not like you're going to make $1 million anymore selling records. If you're an '80s band, it's not going to happen. You that'd be great if I was just stepped on my tongue. Yeah, that'd be great. But no, the reality is those days of selling quadrillions of records are for this kind of band are pretty much over unless something just spectacular happens. Unless we change our name to Aerosmith. You know, but I mean, still, I just want to make a record that I'm proud of, that I can listen to. Like, he saw it coming. I listen to that record all the time. And not because it's me singing or I know the guitar player. I love the record. It's a really well written record. The music makes me smile. And that's all music is supposed to do, as far as I'm concerned. It's supposed to make you happy,
Right.
make you think something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone watching this who hasn't heard that album, I'd recommend listening to it as soon as you can because it's really a strong record. Blew me away when I first heard it. Um, and definitely, like I said, my favorite record of that year in 2017.
That's
Uh,
heavy. Thank you very much.
oh yeah, thank you. I mean, it's a tremendous record, man. Totally. Um, and looking ahead, I've heard through the grapevine that you're working or close to finishing your autobiography. What's the status of that? When can we possibly see that out?
Well, it'll be this year, but it's not my autobiography. It's my biography. I'm working with a ghostwriter named um oh god, I can't think of her name now. Caitlin, that's right, Caitlin Duddy, and she actually is married to Kip. No, Chip. Chip's enough. Sorry, my brain is scattered, dude. I just got up like an hour ago. We've been gone all weekend. Somebody stole my phone. I had to borrow my wife's phone. When you lose your phone, or somebody steals it, rather, they've stole your world. You know, if they only knew whose numbers are on there and how they could get at them, they could have themselves a lot of fun. But anyway, um, like I said, yeah, Caitlin, she's an amazing writer, amazing writer. She's taken my story, and added a writer's touch, a real writer's touch. So when you read it, it's not going to be, "Hey man, this is Jack Russell, man," and it's like I went over to this place, and made some like music, and we did this record, and it was really cool, and like a musician would sound. I mean, what your typical thought would be how a musician would sound if he's trying to relate his own story to you. I mean, I'm not a writer. I write poems. I write songs. I don't write eloquently or a book. I'm not a book writer. She is. She knows how to take my words, interpret them differently, so it's more pleasant on the ear. I mean, like when people redo a song, they may not like the song, but if somebody else redoes it, it's like, wow, I used to hate that song, but now it sounds, oh, it's different. I can still tell it's the same song, but it's different. So hopefully that'll come across. I mean, what she's read to me so far has just blown me away, blown me away. I mean, I would have went. There's no way I could have sat and wrote this. I mean, I get it where the information comes from. Yeah, that's definitely me talking, but I wouldn't have said it like that. So it's nice having a writer work with you that's so good. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's a small world, Chip's a pal of mine and it's always nice when there's another connection somewhere.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, yeah, you kind of know who you're talking about, and yeah, it is nice. Yeah, Chip's a great guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
Yeah, he
Best
is.
sunglasses in rock and roll.
Yep, yep. He's got the hats to prove it.
Yes, absolutely. Um, as we wrap up, I wanted to conclude with a thought I had before we connected just now in that I don't think we're too far away. It's definitely within a couple months at most of the 40th anniversary of the first Great White album. from '84.
That would have been no, would have been already happened before that. First Great White Album was 1982.
The self-titled one was '82?
The
Or the EP?
the actual EP.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're talking about the first real signed to a major label record, which
right,
is
right.
self-titled. Yeah, it's self-titled. That came out in '84. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was referring to the EP, which was actually our first record that got on the radio that was on major airplay. So you can say 82, 84, whatever floats your boat, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a long, long time, you
And
know.
and then there's that whole Dante Fox era, which we can do a whole video on in and of
Oh
itself.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
oh yeah, absolutely. That's a whole nother, it could be a whole nother band. I mean, it was, but I mean, a whole nother career.
yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, you've been at this for a while. I think it was really late '70s when you and Mark first got together, so
Yeah, good old days.
a lot of years there. So, the big question for me, and it's always a pleasure talking to you, and I love the fact that we're talking in 2024 about this new record, the next record, the autobiography, all the stuff you've got going on. It's fantastic. You've had a great career. You've also had some ups and downs in your career. Um, for you, what's been the key to longevity to where you're still active, still creating, and still working in this business after so many years?
Um, I still love music, man. I still love making music. I still love to perform. Even when I'm not having a great night, I got a cold or something, or, I blow my throat out for whatever reason, I'm not having that perfect night, which I always aspire to, which is ridiculous, but I always do, my own worst critic, of course. Um, I still love doing it. I still just, it gets into my soul and I just want to express myself through music. And I've found no other outlet that is as good at doing that for me as music. I mean, I can't write a story, as I was saying. I can't chisel a piece of artwork for you. Here's David. you know, Sorry about the size, but you know, wasn't my fault. Um, that there's just something I still love to do with all my heart, and I'm so blessed and fortunate, and any other words that uh, mean the same thing, that I do this and that I've always have done it and that I still can do it, even if I'm not as good as I was when I was 25, you know, uh, who cares? You're bound to get older someday. I'm 63 now, so I'm pretty good for being 63. I'm happy with it. You know, God bless God.
Right on, man. But listen, you keep putting out the music, I'll keep supporting it.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it, Joel. And you're looking good, man.
Thanks, man. You as well, and I'll see you on the road one of these days, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure, man. Well, don't forget you got my number, man. Don't hesitate to call me whenever you want. If you just want to shoot the, shite,
Shoot
you
the
know,
shite. Yeah, man,
shoot
you
the
got it.
shite.
I
All right,
definitely
man.
will. Until then, I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, my brother. God bless.
God bless. Take care.
You too, bro.